ran on repetition. Legions drilled the same formations for decades until the motion lived in the body, not the mind. Roads were laid stone by stone, day after unremarkable day, by men who never saw them finished. The empire wasn't the product of a good year, it was the product of 10,000 identical Tuesdays. Look at what Rome actually left behind. Not a monument to one brilliant moment. A network of roads, aqueducts, law codes, and legions that all ran on the same principle. Show up, do the unglamorous part, do it again tomorrow. The Colosseum took a decade to build. The aqueducts took longer. Nothing about Roman greatness was sudden, it was accumulated. Seneca practiced this on purpose. While he still had wealth, he lived for stretches as if he were poor. While food was easy to come by, he went without it. Not because suffering has some virtue of its own, but because comfort you've never tested is comfort you don't actually control. He wanted to know, before life forced the question on him, what he could survive. Epictetus drew the line even sharper. Some things belong to you. Your judgment, your will, your response. Almost everything else does not. Spend yourself defending what was never yours to hold, and you'll call yourself free while living exhausted. He taught this to men who had far less power than you do now, from a body that had been broken by slavery, and he still refused to hand his mind over to anyone. That's the problem with comfort now. It doesn't announce itself as an enemy. The chair is soft. The food is engineered to be eaten past the point of hunger. The phone is built to be touched far more than it's built to be put down. None of it demands anything from you, which is precisely the danger. A man who never resists anything never finds out what he can resist. None of these things were designed with your discipline in mind. They were designed to be effortless, because effortless sells. A legion couldn't survive on what's effortless, neither can a man. The moment a standard slips from demanding to convenient, it stops producing soldiers and starts producing citizens waiting for someone else to defend them. Every easy yes is a small vote cast against the man you could be. Cast enough of them, and you stop noticing you're voting at all. Empires rarely fall to invasion first. They fall because the men inside them stop being disciplined enough to hold what was handed to them. Rome didn't lose its legions overnight. It lost the will to maintain them, one soft decade at a time, until there was nothing left to defend the gates with. The work itself is plain. Cold water before the excuses arrive, training before the body votes against it, reading before the scrolling. A fixed hour to wake, a fixed hour to work, a fixed hour to rest. None of it looks like anything in the moment it happens. It only starts to look like something after the 1,000th repetition. Build it like a legion builds a camp. Every night on the march in unfamiliar and often hostile ground, the same fortification went up in the same order, not because the terrain was ever the same, because the system didn't depend on the terrain. Your morning shouldn't depend on how you feel either. The system holds so you don't have to negotiate with yourself at 5 in the morning. This is where most men quit. Not because the discipline is too hard, but because it's too boring. There's no applause for the version of you that trains alone at 6 in the morning. No one is watching the version of you that reads instead of scrolls. That's exactly why it counts. Virtue performed for an audience is theater. Virtue practiced with no one watching is character. And it shows. A disciplined man doesn't need to explain his standards. You read them in how he holds a room, how he speaks, what he's built. The Romans never treated beauty as decoration. A temple's proportions were the discipline of its builders made visible in stone. Every column, every arch was mathematics before it was art. A man's bearing works the same way. It doesn't lie about what went into it. You can see a man's mornings in how he carries his afternoons. Freedom was never the absence of rules. It's what you're left holding once nothing outside you can move you off your foundation. The undisciplined man calls himself free because no one tells him what to do. The disciplined man is actually free because nothing, not comfort, not impulse, not the opinion of a room, can pull him off his own foundation. That is the price. Rome paid it in roads and legions and law. You pay it in the small hour before the world wakes up, in the rep you don't skip, in the plate you don't overfill, in the hour you spend reading instead of numbing out. No one will hand you the empire. No one will hand you the freedom either. You lay the stones yourself, one unremarkable day at a time, until the man standing at the end of it is someone even Rome would recognize.